Welcome to Liberty Christian Fellowship. This is Sunday, July 3rd, Independence Weekend Sunday. We're so glad you're all here, and we're glad you're out there. You may not be watching this today. You may be watching this sometime down the line. And we want you to remember what you're about to hear. Because our rights come from God. Our founding fathers knew that. They put that in the Declaration of Independence. The Bill of Rights followed in the Constitution. And that specifically stated the founding fathers knew that within the Ten Commandments, God was expressing those rights. In Commandments 1 through 10, the right to worship as prescribed by Him. Commandments, say 6 through 10, we have a right not to be murdered or sexually assaulted or stolen from, lied to or about. And in 10, have our 4 P's, our persons, people, positions, and possessions coveted by anyone, including and especially the government. Another thing that the Declaration of Independence states is the rulers cannot take those rights away. And another is that God's plan is that the government honors these commandments and secures these rights so we the people can enjoy them by being free to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. So here's just an excerpt from the Declaration. And you'll find it up there on the screen. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. So we'll skip forward and not read the entire document. In every stage of the oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be a ruler of free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all the other acts and things by which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. We hope and pray that there's enough DNA left from our founding fathers to turn this ship of state around. Men like these. Now, who are these guys? Samuel Downing, Daniel Waldo, Lemuel Cook, Alexander Billiner, William Hutchins, Adam Lincoln. We've all seen things written about the Revolutionary War. Books, paintings, various means of communication. These are actual photographs of the men who laid down their lives. These are the final six. You've heard of the final four. This is the final six, the last 6 men alive, as photography was just coming into play, who were photographed all over the age of 100 and still alive. These are the men who helped give us our freedom as granted by the Lord above. This photograph should stir you to your very core.